All right, let's get this going. I'll call an order and then ask Clerk Taylor to call roll call.
Carroll,
Here.
McPhee,
Here.
Hendricks, Gill, here, Woodhouse, Fleming, here, and Brookins. Here. You have a quorum.
And you confirm public notification?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Awesome. We now need to approve the agenda, and so I need a move to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, McKee and Fleming. All in favor of the agenda, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Got our agenda. Also need approval of minutes from the October 7th. Hopefully you looked at them.
I'll make a motion to approve
Okay.
the minutes.
Fleming too.
I'll
Yeah.
second that.
Keith second. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Oh. Yeah, Supervisor Hendricks. Okay, public comment. Any public comment online? It's not. Okay, now our zoning positions. Take it away.
So the first one is for Mark and Julie Luther. They had a cabin on an ag forestry parcel, but the acreage is about 6.93. So we asked them to rezone it to ag residential. And that's what this is for. And they just got their septic and well put in as well.
This is the, I'm sorry, this is the Luther one?
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a question on, I guess we gotta get it on the table first. Have a motion to approve that petition.
I'll make a motion.
Fleming, McKee, second. Okay, now discussion. Oh, are you here for that?
Yes.
No.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Oh, okay, sorry.
I know.
I had a question on it. That's up by me, and I know they have one cabin there, but the wording was made me confused about whether there's one cabin or two cabins. 'Cause-
As of October, when when I went out, there was only one.
And they're only asking for one or two? Wasn't clear on that. They've not asked for a building permit or anything like that?
No, it was sanitary permit.
Right. But it sounded like they wanted to, there's two parcels
Mhm.
and they want to change both of them to ag res?
They have.
This is one of them we're correcting,
Okay.
putting it in the correct zoning district.
As they come, we're trying to catch them up.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. But no indication they're going to put a second cabin as of yet.
Well, if they do, they have to go through the full process. Mr. Luther's on the line.
That's correct. We're just the one cabin is all we're looking to have.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Chair. I have a
Yes.
question as well. Since this is kind of a cleanup of getting them changed into the correct zoning, the fee listed is 500. Shouldn't it be the 125 then?
I'm not sure what Jen had them pay.
The paperwork says 500.
Yep, I think that was pre,
I assume that it was
because that was in September.
before we voted on that, but just wanted to make sure. I guess their fee should be 125 then. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll get that fixed.
Okay.
Maybe just, we'll have to maybe issue them the rest back
Okay.
because that fee was changed just before.
Correct.
Were there any other questions or clarification needed? If not, all those in favor of approving this, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. That's been approved.
Thank you.
And now, Hochstetler petition.
If they're not here, do you want me to proceed?
Well, I think this is one of them. This is another one we're fixing the rezoning, so I think we can bring it up and then they can decide.
Well, they have not paid yet. But it is a rezoned from illegal non-conforming to ag res. And they just plan on building 2 more sheds, garage, storage.
Is that how it came up, that they
Yeah.
got this for building permit?
And so it was just illegally non-conforming. We asked them to, oh, never mind, they're here.
Perfect timing.
Good morning.
Come in and have a seat. So,
Right here?
that's fine. So I suppose you need to bring it in.
Have you already explained to them what's going on with trying to fix things from the past and as new things come up?
I mean, this one was illegally non-conforming, but yeah, they just, I mean, yeah, I
But
fix.
they understand why the rezone is needed? Yes. Okay, okay. Anybody from the committee have any questions on this one?
We have to bring it on the floor, yeah.
Need a motion to bring this on the table.
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
approve this.
And now, any questions or further discussion on?
Yeah, what is illegal non-conforming? How does that differ?
We have no idea. They start, I mean, those were, that happened before either of us started with this.
They also have legal non-conforming. I don't know the difference of that. Because like, with those, you would think that all of them that are non-conforming should have that flare on them, right? At least that's what I would assume, but they don't.
So we're not gonna make any guesses why it's that way. It could have been done 20 years ago. I have no idea.
The land records don't show dates for when, wow.
Especially the illegal and legal non-conforming. We have no idea. You know, it was done, who knows how many years ago, or something happened. We just don't know. So that's why,
Going forward, when parcels are rezoned or changed or split or whatever, do we date those so we know that when it happened?
yeah, because we'll be doing they'll be rezoned and, but some of them, we don't know. I don't,
Understood. I'm just saying going forward, it'd be nice to
Right.
have started dating all those.
well,
things.
they'll be in the catalyst system.
Okay,
When the
And we
rezone-
do have like a receipt date on them.
Okay.
So, and I also tried to write when it's approved here too. So there should be dates.
Do we have any sense of how many of these non-conforming that we have out there? Are there?
I haven't run the query yet. I was gonna try to do that, see where we're at.
But again, it's not gonna be a like valid amount because there's so many that don't have that actual layer on it that are non-conforming. So
But
it's
the
hard.
ones that are legal non-conforming, the ones that are currently, that's their designation, and the legal non-conforming, I think I can run a query through ArcPro and, give an idea of how many of those are, how many parcels.
could we put that on next month's agenda, just to? Can I ask that question?
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, this is just one more. Yes.
And the same thing with this one says 500, I'm assuming it's because before we changed our fee schedule, so this one also be the 125, it's being changed because of the non-conforming?
It'll be, and I forgot to mention that when we met, but we do need the fee for the rezone and
It's 120.
so
Yeah.
total is 4.
That's good. Anything else? All right, all those in favor of approving the petition, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, got that one done. You're good to go.
Yeah.
You can stay too.
Oh, you, right. All right, so we're on to reports and,
We'll have to send you the receipts. Oh,
I just want to take it down.
Yep.
So do
You want to go back down, maybe?
Yeah.
And then ask Jen. She can take the check and then have her fill this out.
Okay. Very nice, thank you, appreciate it.
Alright. She's just making notes.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
All
for
right.
coming.
You're up. Yeah.
Zone. Sorry. Okay, so, as of last time when we talked about creating a checklist, we did create a checklist that we've been having people sign, just so that they know what they might have to do if they plan on building. And then once they sign it, I take a copy of it, but I leave this with them. And
Somebody. Was that somebody online?
Yeah. I think they just didn't have themselves together.
Oh, just, okay. Go ahead.
I created a disclaimer for the companies that we have online. And MIS put the disclaimer on each section for pumper companies, plumbing companies, soil testers, land surveyors, so forth. And
Basically saying we assume no responsibility for the completeness or accuracy of their service.
Wait, which document are we looking at?
It's the one right before, if you got the packet, it's the one right before, it's one right after the zoning stuff,
8A.
8A.
You may have to refresh because it was added after the first night.
Hang on. What's the name of the file?
It's right here. So here's the list she was talking about on the screen. Should be 8A.
The one that says disclaimer?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
and then I did ask Sauk and Iowa County about how many houses they allow in the ag forestry districts in their counties. And Iowa County does 2 farm residences. They said that it's hard to truly monitor if those houses are being used for farming reasons or not. And so they don't really keep track. So overall, yes, they allow 2, but Sauk County only allows 1 per 35 acres because it is hard to monitor that.
Yeah.
And then on that 3-year maintenance form discussion, I did find in the ordinance that it says the signatures of the owner and the inspector should be on the sheet. So moving forward, we will need the signatures of the landowner.
So you're saying it's not something we chose, the statutes tell us?
No, our zoning
Ours-
ordinance,
Ours,
our ordinance.
It's our ordinance.
it's our septic ordinance.
Oh. So what do you recommend? Leave it like that or make it easier?
I mean, we can.
We leave right now, until we decide to open it. And it will be open up the zoning ordinance, so if you guys want to, you want to open it up and change that, to take that line out, that'll be. But
This would be the septic.
this would be for the septic, but
Not the
no, right, it's not part of the zoning ordinance, but it's the septic ordinance. We want to also look at that and see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked in there. We can,
The other issue was trying to make sure people recognize that you don't have to pump unless it's above
Mhm.
whatever, a third or something.
And so I did send letters to the people that sent in complaints stating, we did have this discussion, and that moving forward, we're not going to be pursuing anything with the issue because it is more of a civil matter. Because I reached out to the DNR that licensed the pumpers
Say, I can no longer hear you guys in the room. It looks like you might be muted.
Okay, now can you, John?
You bet.
So are the people gonna be getting fines? The $50 fine for turning it in late if the pumper didn't turn it in? Or what?
Yes, because it's their responsibility to turn it in on time. But I did talk to Dave, who he came in for a zoning thing. I just brought this up to him that it is in our ordinance. We need their signatures, and we'll probably send out a letter to the pumper companies saying that from now on, we're going to need the owner's signature. So they might end up changing their way of doing things and just leaving it with the property owners from now on, rather than handing in bundles. I'm not entirely sure.
I just feel like if the pumper turned them in way late, and trusting that they're doing it, I mean, a lot of these people aren't home and aren't aware, and just, because like the one particular company actually puts on their bill that they for that form and that they'll turn it in. So I know the one particular person in my district was very unhappy when it wasn't turned in on time. So I don't know, to me, I think some of these people, we almost gotta make exception for that fine, it's just my opinion.
Isn't that worse between them and the pumper because the pumper didn't do what they were supposed to?
Well, I guess exactly, but
And also on the bottom of the sheet, it does state that it is property owner's responsibility to get it to us.
I wonder, would it help if we remind the pumpers, don't take the form from the landowner? That they'll just be getting in the middle of things if they do that.
And that's my thought with sending out a letter before pumping starts next spring. So just so that they are aware. And like I said, I had that conversation with Richland Septic.
Okay.
And he said that, or he asked, so from now on, should I just be leaving the filled out form with the home?
Right.
I said, yeah, that would probably make the most sense. Leave it in their mailbox or something.
Yep.
So then they can sign it and bring it to us.
Is the due date the same on all?
it's August 15th.
Yep.
I couldn't hear.
The due date, I wanted to make sure it was the same across the whole, there's no varying due dates.
No, it's all October.
Well, the pumpers do know when the due date is.
Yes.
Did they ever hold those until they get paid, if they haven't been paid or something, or is there ever an issue with, of that going on, that they're not going to submit until,
They might.
It might be, we don't know.
I'm just saying is that's a consideration as well. It might be more complicated than, they pump it and then they don't get remittance, and that might be their way to say, hey, if you don't pay, we're not gonna submit this. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that. I wouldn't be surprised.
It could be what's happening, but again, I don't think we're in the middle of that.
No, I'm just saying is that we're breaking the rules though, who gets fined, and if, I'm just.
Yeah, I agree. We're making the rules on who gets fined, and if they didn't turn in the paperwork, like that particular one is actually putting it on their bill of the $35 or whatever that goes to the county, they actually bill them for that because they're gonna turn it in for them.
Yeah,
And we're making the rules on who gets the fine. I just feel like, to me, this should be just kind of at least for some of the people, I don't even know how many people we're talking about that got turned in late because of the pumper. Do you have any idea how many people that is? Is it 3 or?
I don't know based on pumper. I know that we've had over 200 that we had to send out a second letter to.
That didn't turn them in by August 15th.
Did all those 200 get the $50 fine then?
Yeah.
They did, okay.
Once they turned it in. So slowly. But
It still sounds like we should emphasize to the pumpers, don't offer to turn it in, don't keep it, just leave it in their mailbox or something. That way it's very clear that it's on the landowner.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good idea, is
Yeah.
that it's, the landowner gets that copy and whatever the remittances, that's a whole separate issue. But that then the landowner has the responsibility and is gonna get fined if they don't do it.
Yeah, right.
And because we've gotten calls and it's like, well, you gave it to the pumper, we're out of it, if you gave it to the pumper and asked them to turn it in, then that's between you two.
Right.
We don't know when things are I mean, we just know that we haven't gotten it.
Can we add wording to the forms and say, do not have the pumper turn in, it's your responsibility, just some extra words, just make it really clear.
And we can add to that
Let's
statement
do
on the
that.
bottom.
Let's do that.
I guess another issue is I have a old septic system and every 3 years they come out and they have to check it. and-
Yeah.
And they look at, oh, there's a pipe sticking out of the ground. They want to charge you $75 to see that there's a pipe sticking out of the ground. And I said, the last time was $25 or something. Is there any?
Okay, what it is, we charge $25. That's the county fee.
Okay,
So you're paying, if you're paying more, you're paying for them their time, their expertise to inspect. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go out and inspect, making sure there's no leakage, that it does or does not need pumping. But whatever charge they charge is for their actual inspection. You're paying them to inspect it.
like I say, you know.
I know the fees have gone up from what I've heard from a lot of people, that the actual, them going out and looking at it has gone up, but our fee hasn't gone up, but, you know, theirs has, the licensed people.
You had a pumping service actually like turn a bunch of them into at once? So that,
Like
Yeah.
it stacks.
Yeah, we've got two especially, Richland Septic and Boaz. Usually turn it over,
okay.
usually turns in a whole bunch of them. So, and that's great, it's okay, but this is, you know, this way maybe we can, and they can still do it that way, just that we need to check in their signature, landowner's signature. According to our ordinance.
Well, they could, but I'm saying let's discourage it. Let's try to make it clear that the pumper signs off, leaves it with the landowner, and then they have to sign it, mail it in.
And some of them may just sign it ahead of time. They're not gonna be there for 3 months. You know, they're only here every so often. We'll probably still get those, that the landowner signed off and,
Can't solve all their problems.
nope.
Other comment on this? Right. So you guys,
Is this gonna, it's the only way this can be accomplished is through a hard copy. There's no way to do it online.
Not right now. Eventually they could, but, we have to do like a third party, with the new program, we have to do like a third party thing, and we can't have like each individual landowner be a third party. It'd be the pumpers, and we'd have to change our ordinance saying that signatures aren't required. The, pumpers would submit things electronically.
That's just curious.
Yeah, and there's been talk about it, but right now we're just getting into the catalyst, and we want to see how the rest of it works before we go the next step.
Do you know what other counties do? Do they do pretty much what we're doing?
Sauk County does the online.
They
Online,
do the online.
yeah, and then other counties, like the payment fee, they do a special assessment to the tax thing, but, you know, they divide the 3 years, and they have it on it's assessed on their taxes. But there's, when we talked to Jeff about it, it was like, it's really complicated to do.
Makes more sense to do it this way, not on the taxes.
Yeah.
The online option would be something to maybe consider for in the future.
Yeah, and that's what we've talked about. Yeah, but we just got Catalyst, and I just started learning it like 3 weeks ago. So it's like, we want to get through the septic, sanitary permits, the zoning permits, get those under our belt, and then look and see to do the online option.
Is that what Sauk uses as catalyst?
No,
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so.
It's not the best program. We're trying very hard to figure it out.
but the online feature is something you might try to do in the future.
Yeah, I would say, give us a couple of years. I don't want to,
All the other ones come first.
Okay. So,
And then unfortunately, lastly, I am leaving on November 25th, resigning from this position. just,
We heard.
yeah, I figured, but just want to be closer to home long-term, so I enjoyed my time.
Well, in the short time you've been here, we've seen a lot of initiatives started that are positive, and so that's good. Too bad you can't stay.
I enjoy it, and if I could move the county closer to home, I would stay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for all you've done.
No problem.
Yeah.
Which will be, our last day will be our next meeting.
Okay, what's our next report?
Me, I guess. Starting tomorrow, Corey and I are working with, Landon, I can't think of his last name, Easter Extension, Landon Baumgart, I can't think of his name. Anyway, we're gonna start doing a nutrient management class tomorrow. We start, so farmer training. We've got probably eight to 10 signed up now for it. It's his first class. They have to go through like a whole day thing, and then later on, it's talking about soil tests, soil report, nutrients and that, and then in January, February, we'll actually have their hands-on. They'll be sitting down and doing the things on computers. In December, we'll be mailing out the self-compliance reports for farmland preservation. And in part of it too, we're going to be the ones that we haven't already done. The earlier this year, after we'd sent everything out, the state changed the rates for the farmland preservation tax credit. They raised them, and so for this year, this 2024, you could use your existing ones, but put in the new rates. So starting 2025, they have to have the certificate with the new rate. So Corey will be sending those along with the self-compliance.
How big a mailing is that?
400. And the 400 could include like, you own several things under several different names.
Okay.
So, but we mail like one thing.
I didn't catch who's doing the nutrient management thing with you.
The new guy from Extension, he's nutrient management planner through Extension.
Yeah, I can't remember Landon's name.
Landon.
Anastasia, do you know who that is? I think because Anastasia's planning on
Yeah,
helping.
it's Landon Baumgartner.
Okay, that's right.
Yep, and I'll be there helping out with it tomorrow as well.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Jen and I are going to be setting up the tree sale, figure out how many trees to order. We'll do that this week. Get a hold of the. We're going to go through Paint Creek Nursery again. We had really good results with them, and then we'll get ready to go. Hopefully, get prices from them. Figure out how much we're going to charge, and then put that online, our square through our website, and then get the word out a couple different places.
Have you picked out species yet, or?
That's what we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do for species, because we had some that we had to sell after we had to pay for them all up front. And then we sell as we go from those orders. We had some that we sold out right away, so we'll probably order more of those and less of some of the other ones. The aquatic invasive species grant, I'll be sending, that was at lake monitoring, I'll be sending that in this week. And Derek is finishing up like the last minute, I don't know, it's getting close to being done with construction. Maybe a wall abandonment or two to go. And then he's already starting to work on things for next year. We've got just a little over for cost sharing for 2025. The state's going to give us like a little over $38,000 for cost sharing. So we can contract for, so that's all I've got.
Okay. Adam?
All right, so within your packet, you should have just Richland October 2024 report. I'm gonna try to start putting these into your packets every month. I'm not gonna obviously read through this whole report for you guys, but just kind of highlight in there what each of the educators are doing for the month. And then I'm gonna try to bring an educator with me every month just to kind of give a short 5 minute update on their specific program. So just some things going on. I don't know if you guys remember meeting Sheena when you guys first started. She was the food-wise coordinator for Vernon, Crawford, and Richland County, so she oversees the 2 educators. We're moving forward with that position. Final interviews for that will be on Friday, so hopefully next month I'll have a new food-wise unit coordinator to announce to you guys who that is. But in the meantime, I brought Monica today, and Monica is our Richland County food-wise educator, and I will let Monica talk about some of the work she's doing. So do you guys have any questions or okay with this format for the monthly reporting from us? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if you can go like down to show them I think it's the last one. Oh,
This one?
no, up.
Oh, sorry.
I think 2
It's
more
food-wise.
pages.
Oh, sorry.
One more.
One more.
There you
Yes,
go.
there. Yeah. Well, hi everyone. My name is Monica Diaz. I'm the bilingual nutrition educator here in the area. I also gave support to Bernard and Crawford when they need a bilingual educator. Right now, we are working on a different projects that you can see in this information. We're working with Ithaca and Kickapoo. They got a grant, so we're planning sessions with them. We're reestablishing a session with the food services directors because we were in touch with them. But one of the principal projects that I would like to talk with you and touch base is, well, this is information that I share with our partners or our potential partners. We are supporting the Mexican store Oasis, which is here in Maine, to make them allowed to accept EBT and WIC. Okay, so here you can see like the whole information about the needed and what they need. Right now, we are partnering with American Heart Association. We're partnering with Hunger Solution. We're partnering with Second Harvest and also with Whirlpool to try to provide them like some refrigerators and the stuff that they need to make them allowed to accept EBT. I think it's one of the most important projects that I see like the necessity here in the area because we just have like 3 establishments that accept EBT and WIC vouchers here in the Richland County. One is Walmart, other is Quick Trip, and the other is Family Dollar, the one here. And we can just get like fresh fruit from Walmart and Quick Trip, and sometimes it's really expensive to, live from Quick Trip, or for people sometimes it's hard to go to Walmart. So here is the project that we are working. We are really open if you have like any question and if you wanna discuss more about the project that we are working on. Also, if you have like any idea about partners or stuff like that, it's like right now with Second Harvest, they told us like, hey, we don't have like the amount or economical support, but we can, help you create like a nice layout in the store so they can show the most nutrition foods that they have and make like easier, just access easier to the population. So I don't know if you have like any question or something about this. Yes.
Did you lose any of your funding from Second Harvest?
Sorry?
Did you lose any of your funding from Second Harvest?
No.
Saved anything. So I know we did on it.
Yes. No. The only funding that we have right now is from American Heart Association. They provide us part of the necessity for the refrigerators. also they are given like the amount for the certification, and they are paying Claudia, the owner, for the trainings and the timing that she is investing on this project. And also, well, you can see like I add some pictures of the store right now. And well, right now they have like the fruits and vegetables on the floor, stuff like that, just because they don't have like another type of places to put it. So also, Whirlpool, they are offering us a free refrigerator. Uh, Cover Solution, they help us to contact Whirlpool, because Whirlpool provide free refrigerators for the pantry, stuff like that. So they're going to help us with one of those. So we have support, just more to let you know, like in which are our efforts right now, focus our efforts. And also if you have like any idea of partnering, or if you have like any connection or partnership that we can contact or start creating, it will be like.
So is this store the one right out downtown here?
Yes.
Okay, is that where the refrigerator will go? In
Yeah.
here? Okay.
Is that a commercial refrigerator then, or?
Yes, that is the thing. They need a commercial refrigerator. So Whirlpool, they told us like, hey, we can provide you 2 refrigerators. But the thing is, to accomplish the EBT necessities and requirements, it needs to be a commercial, because they need to have like a different type of requirements, stuff like that. So Whirlpool is trying to provide us one, and we are talking with them like maybe to have a discount or something like that.
So this will be WIC approved too then?
Yes, yeah. The week person, like the person who needs the certificate, they come to the store and they create like an assessment, and they tell like you need to have like this stuff to be allowed to accept it. And we, in our partner with American Heart Association, we create like this information between Claudia and I to, to start like talking with our partners about like the necessities and the needs that they need to accomplish for their requirements. I don't know if someone have like another question.
Sounded like good.
And this is for you. What else?
That's good.
Thank you.
Sounds like good progress. Good job.
Yes, we're doing progress. Well, it's slow. And another thing is most of our partners, they work with, no profit. Yes, I forget that word. Yes, no profit, and this is a profit. So we are creating a community center in the store. Okay, so the Hispanic population can go to the store and they're going to receive like help, information, stuff like that. So we are, planting this like a not profit help. So to have like more support from our partners.
How would the community center function be staffed? Who would be there?
Well, it's like they already have something, it's like people from Foodwise or from ARTC, they come and they have like a board and we put like information there. And also, well, Claudia, she's really involved in a different type of programs, stuff like that. So she always have like information from hospitals. And for sure, for us as a Hispanic, most of the time we go to those places, to ask like, hey, where I need to, where I can go if I need to cut my hair, if I need like free medicines, so they already have something there, but we are like trying to make it like more robust with more information.
Okay.
So where's your office?
Yes, my office is
there with
there.
you.
Is there anything else from extension?
No, like I said, we'll put that monthly report so you can see what everybody's doing, and then just kind of try to give you guys a short brief through the different educators. You guys get to meet what we're doing and understand the programs a little better. So,
Good, good. All right, where were we on the agenda? Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, lighting assessment for county facilities. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to look at that. I'll talk about that. When Melissa was committee chair, this came up about the dark sky initiative that a lot of areas in the country are trying to look at to reduce light pollution. Not just for, seeing the stars and energy efficiency, but it also affects, wildlife, insects, birds, and all that stuff. So this report in here in your folder is something that a guy who's involved with that wrote up a report for all the county facilities. But I mean, if you look at it, it's mind-boggling, all the information there with all the appendices, he took snapshots and assessed the I guess you'd call it the light pollution factor for all the facilities, all the light fixtures, and did it for free. And so there's a lot to look at. I would say you don't need to study all of the pictures of all the lights. Please do look at the actual report itself, especially the first few pages where it explains what it is, why it's important, and how we can make steps to get better at it. So I agree with that idea, and I was thinking that it's good for our committee to know about it and support it as an environmental issue, but then maybe we pass this on to the Public Works Committee so that they, for any future lighting changes or maintenance or whatever, that they know about these factors and pick fixtures that are, put the light where it needs to be, not up. So that's what I would like to do is have this then put on their agenda to discuss and decide how they might do things in accordance with it. So any comments or questions about light study?
Are there timers on some of these lights? Because I see parking lots that are lit up all night long, and it's like, why would we do that, basically?
Well, again, if you pick the right fixture and operate it properly, you can do that, but there's so many lights
But
right
then
now.
why would we want to, I guess it's also the cost factor too. Does he go into this office, the bottom line, basically, how much money we're going to save by shutting off some of the lights that are not helping us, like wildlife and whatever. And,
Agreed.
So,
So many security cameras these days have the night vision where you don't really need the light if that's what part of your concern.
Yeah, but like in the past, like say the campus, people are coming in, they had late classes and stuff, and how do you shut those off? For parking lot lights, for somebody who's, for their safety, walking through a dark parking lot, that's probably why those, there were never timers put on. And that's why they'll, like, say the campus, all the lights are on,
Yeah.
and, but, yeah, I'm sure that's why.
Sure, for visibility for places where people need to walk, understood. But again, if you put the fixture so the light's just shining down on the ground instead of everywhere.
All right,
it's
that's
still-
what, as time goes, is you replace things that
Right.
when time goes.
So anyway, this is just the follow-up on that discussion we had last year. And that's the report. And like I said, I'll see if I can get this put on Public Works agenda so they can look at it and decide what they want to do.
and public safety, I guess, is also a question then. Do people feel safer with lights on? And then how many lights do you need to feel safer too? Because I know the high school, which I live close by, it's lit up all night long.
Well, even if you leave them on all night, at least have them aiming
You
down.
could, just a couple on all night and still kind of create that. ideas, you know, safe, a safe place.
There are some with motion.
Okay, yeah.
They only come on, it's a sense activity.
But I mean, you save money and provide our, you know, skies and wildlife with the benefit, so then I think that it's worthwhile, looking at it and also figuring out how much we need to create this feeling of safety as well without, don't go too far, let's say.
Yeah. Okay, anything else about the lighting assessments? Any other comments?
I'm extremely happy with it, because I'm in dark sky, you know, if you look at the light pollution map out there where I live, we're still blue, but it's worse now than it was 5 years ago, which is ridiculous. When we've been educating the community, how did it get worse?
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad.
Well, another piece that I didn't realize until I looked at the report, just switching to LEDs with the shut off fixture is only part of it. The temperature of the light is important too. A lot of these LEDs are very, very blue, 4,000, 5,000 K, and that's not good. It's better if they're a lower temperature, more like an old fashioned, you know, incandescent yellow, and it doesn't, I don't understand the science behind it, but it doesn't propagate up as much, even if you have so that's the other piece is making sure the actual element itself does what we want it to. Okay, here we go. Future land use maps, and that's where Dan's going to take you.
Hey, thanks for having me this morning. My name is Dan Hauk, Assistant Planner at the Southwestern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. And as you may know or may not know, the county is working with the Regional Planning Commission to update the county comprehensive plan currently. And I'm taking the lead on writing that. The public comment period is opening on December 10th at the executive committee meeting. But as part of this process, state statute requires the county to update their future land use map for those towns that are under county zoning. So we engaged with town officials over the last 5 to 6 months to gather their input on future land use. We sent out surveys to the towns in July and asked for their input and had a map attached to that. This culminated in an open house in this room on September 25th, where a majority of the 12 towns that are county zoning attended. The result of that is in your packet, page 99, starting with the existing land use map. So Jacqueline, our GIS coordinator, is on the call virtually, but we decided that the existing land use would be based on current zoning, just because of challenges with some of the records for existing land use that exist within the county. So that was our basis, was to use current zoning. Some of the counties that either attended or provided a map after their plan commission meetings or town board meetings, you know, their feedback deviated from their existing land use. And you can see that if you go through some of the maps. Some said that there would be no change anticipated, and some opted not to provide any feedback. And so per state statute, the plan commission, which has been, the executive committee has been designated as the plan commission, is the body with authority to approve these maps. But we wanted to make sure that you're aware of them, because any future rezones will have to be compliant with what the towns have designated as their future land use maps. On a related point, Regional Planning Commission is going to create an online interactive map of Richland County zoning and future land use that can be toggled back and forth, and this would be posted on our website at no cost as part of the comprehensive planning process. So that would be, once the plan has been adopted, we'd work with county conservation zoning to have that hosted on our site. So, yeah,
I have a few questions, but.
Yeah,
so
that's all I have.
Oh.
And again, Jacqueline's on if we have any questions about methodology.
In terms of, once these are all confirmed and approved and the official map, is there a way to have those as another layer on our public GIS? So that we don't have to go to your website and then it's just one more easy way to find that information? Is that possible?
It is possible. Yep, so one of the, one of the recommendations in the plan is going to be to kind of overhaul that public GIS or zoning data for the county. But until that happens, it'll be posted on our website. And so one of the, I guess, most pressing actionable items would be to update the county's public website.
That's
Yes, it
right.
would be.
Right now, the public GIS does not have that as a layer, even the current.
Correct.
Current land use. I was wondering if in the process of updating and saying the new ones are official, that we also add that as another layer option.
And that would go like through the land information. I think that's part of our grant process is updating. We want to do the update of the website.
That would be a lot simpler, I think, than trying to bounce back and forth.
I just don't know if it's gonna be this one or next one, you know, I don't remember, I don't have my stuff with me. As far as Julie and I are working on a land information grant for 2025. So.
Could that be one of the tasks you try to fund with that?
Yes, we need to kind of have some costs of what that's gonna be. Because we've been having issues lately with, it's an older and going to a newer system.
Okay. My second question, in Dayton and Eagle, they created these commercial industrial corridors. As best I can tell, we've never had that in the county. Something new that I can see. So, but do you have some insight into what exactly their intent was, or what that implies?
Jacqueline, did you provide any?
Let me start this way. I think the best way to understand this is zoning language and land use language are a little bit different. However, land use language helps inform zoning. And so for these townships, what they decided to do was, if in the future they wanted any commercial industrial uses, or if they were approached for commercial industrial land, those are basically the corridors they would consider. And so those areas can possibly be rezoned to industrial or commercial, essentially.
So they could come here, come to our department and say, I want to zone, I want to put up I don't know, a gas station. Let's just throw it out there. On Highway 14, I'm in Dayton Township. Okay, I can do it. We can go, this committee can say, yes, we can rezone this to commercial. Because Dayton Township says, this is the area we're okay with them doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But not, off of, say, County Highway Z. We don't want one there. So
I get what it's intended. I'm just saying that's cut up quite a new swath where in theory you could put industrial stuff, and would it be in keeping with the farmland preservation designations we already have, and just the general character of where those areas are.
well, these maps will be, when we do, and I want to talk to Candace about this, getting somebody else to do the plan, I kind of talk to, that we have to, by the end of 2026, we have to update the farmland preservation plan, the county. And so the maps in the farmland preservation plan have to match the maps that are in the comprehensive plan. That's kind of why you do the comprehensive plan first. So, and that kind of dictates with the zoning thing. So if we're following what's in It's not saying we have to change that, and if they're currently farmland and they're not rezoning it, they're still, it's still farmland preservation. But in the future, I mean, these are what, like, how many year plans, 10-year plans? This is like in the next 10 years, things may change, and this is saying, okay, this is where we want to direct.
Understood. So Dan, what does the commission think about these new borders?
I would say that there were a few townships that actually had a vision for what the future would look like. So I think that for them to, go through the process and think about where they would want to direct industry, that's encouraging. It's not saying that that's going to be an entire industrial corridor per se. But yeah, they were just thinking about their future. I don't think that it's going to be in conflict with farmland preservation. And certainly, there's certain steps that potential industry would have to go through to even get there, considering the rural character of the land. So.
Anyone else on the committee have any questions or comments on maps?
I do. The dark blue says institution. Could you explain what could be in those locations?
So, the dark blue, which is institutional, includes any.
Jacqueline, you're kind of muffled.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yep.
Yes.
So, all the institutional lands include any federal, state, or county or township owned lands. So any of those lands that showed up on the tax roll as tax exempt and owned by either the town, the village or a village or city, the county or at the state or federal level has that designation essentially.
I was just looking at like the town of Buena Vista, down by Gotham, there's a section that's blue. Betcha that's the old dump, just according to what she's stating. And probably where the large blue is down toward Lone Rock, that would be the solar farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So it's non-exempt governmental, or not necessarily governmental, but non-exempt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only question I have, this is Kathy, is the fact that on, we're talking about cleaning up some of these parcels that they may be zoned ag forestry, but in reality, because the acreage size of the parcel, they should be zoned something else. Are we going to have to, are we, like with the state, when we come to are we going to have to submit that to the state saying, okay, this was zoned incorrectly, because it doesn't meet, it was done before. Let's just take Aiken Township. These are parcels existed before this plan, and they weren't necessarily included in it. Are we going to have to petition the state to? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because we had these two that came in for rezoning that were not meeting zoning code. Maybe that's a discussion when we do the farm preservation plan to talk with.
I don't know if Jacqueline has any insight, but I would just say that that's a conversation for later. Probably it's a unique situation here in the county. I don't know if it would necessarily change future land use map. It would have changed in current zoning.
Yeah.
But that's not adopted by the county for the purposes of this.
Right. No. That was my curiosity.
But that is a good question to see if we need to submit that to the state.
Yeah. Because I know the maps are supposed to use these maps to direct rezonings.
Right.
Hey, can I answer a question? Like, the colors on this map here, is that because they've been rezoned recently? Like, because there's so many spaces that are, beige. I was just curious why just certain parcels or whatever are lit up.
Well, like you said, those were the current zoning status. Some of them are, like in Aiken, that's the current zoning status of those parcels.
So if something hasn't been done with the property in quite a while, it's just, okay, that's what I was noticing, looking at page.
Unless the township, like, I don't know if Aiken was there and did any mapping,
They did not, they opted to,
so,
they opted to not participate. So we use their existing zoning, and much of what you're seeing is agricultural, land. So that's what's not.
Yeah, so all
that's
the
big.
beige are ag.
So, so if you looked at their current zoning and this map, it's that they're identical. They opted to not participate in this process.
whereas Dayton came and
I see.
they came in and they said, this is where we want things.
How many townships did you say did not,
Did not participate at all.
or which ones?
Of the 12. Should I say which ones? Okay, Aiken. Let's see here, Richwood. These are ones that did not. I don't believe Willow.
No, there was people here for
Willow. There are some that did not have any changes, like they came.
They reviewed it, but just didn't have any changes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in total, six townships provided changes. That's what I can say. I don't know exactly which ones did not.
So half of the 12.
Yeah. And ultimately, it's up to the executive committee if they see that map as, they have final say, so they could say, we don't approve this map with this commercial board.
So you're here more informational for us. Are you gonna be coming back to them to present to the executive and finance?
Yep.
Okay.
And that'll be at the December 10th meeting. That'll be the opening of the public comment period, December 10th.
Oh, right.
And then they'll have the public hearing at the end of that, which is January 14th. Then it'll go for adoption, county board on January 21st, county board meeting. So you will all be made aware when the public comment period opens and plan is ready to take a look at it. So that's all I have. Do you have any other questions?
Nope, I guess not. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, that's short-term rental ordinance.
I sent it to Attorney Wendell, and he said it's okay.
He said it's okay.
He didn't see any changes, any need for any changes.
Well, and the same question for the committee. Any questions, concerns, things we still need to look into? Because at some point, we're gonna approve this and it'll be a new ordinance.
Well, that's one thing too, if we do, the fee schedule, I'll have to figure out what I can send what, we can put as a fee, what we planned on, I don't remember what it was.
Well, we talked about not putting them in the ordinance somewhere.
Right, I have to get the fee, you guys adopt the fee schedule,
Oh,
it wouldn't be in the fee schedule, we wouldn't be able to charge them anything next year. I just thought of that.
I thought,
Well, you can get them to approve the fee and then it'll just be in the fee schedule. The entire board will adopt the fee schedule. So as long as your committee knows what those fees of yours are, then.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what we said for the fee, we did this such a long time ago, I don't remember what the fee was.
it wasn't much.
Was it $100?
In other words, you're saying that shouldn't hold up us approving this.
No,
No,
Right.
as long as you're aware of them
Yeah.
and you know what they are, that's great. And then the fee schedule will come in December.
so I gotta get those numbers to, I need to get those to Larry.
Yes, he sent out a.
Yeah, I did one amendment, and then I forgot about this. And I don't remember what we said we could do for a fee schedule, it's a fee for this. Do you remember, Julie?
I don't, but it'd be in the minutes,
Okay, I'll go back and look.
like see it correctly.
I don't remember the last time we talked, but I'll go back and do some of the old meetings and look at the minutes.
All right, well, so aside from that fee question, which again doesn't actually show up in here, I guess, does anyone want to move to approve this as a new ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, anyone to second? Mr. McKee? Any more discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving this, say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? Okay. All right. Farm leases, okay.
I think it was sent by the executive committee to hear. Basically, they were talking about general use, and I was looking over that and what they have for, they're having soil testing done. Is great. We've got a way to send them in. I think what they have in there, as far as the conservation part of it, is good. Having a nutrient management plan is good for the county, so we're not making sure that they're not over applying nutrients. It's under general land, it's under land use, item number 4. All those things that are listed under there that concern the conservation part of it, I think is good. The only thing is, I see there's a typo that should be Richland County under conservation, not Vernon County.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, where'd this come from?
Yeah. And then like, that was the only thing I saw that seemed out of place. I think it's a good idea to have, have the nutrient management plan and have conservation plan practices, because it'll keep the land in good use.
So I want to make sure I understand. If we have a farm, we say it's going to go into the farmland preservation program, what does that do in addition to having a nutrient management plan?
No runoff of, or no soil erosion, not much. Reduce soil erosion to tolerable soil loss levels. Not farming right up to the stream bank, leaving like a 5 to 10 foot buffer of no tillage. No gully erosion, no runoff from barnyards or feed storage, no into the waters estate, no overgrazing of stream banks.
I guess my question is, can we not just say we require the leasee to enter that property into the farmland preservation?
They can't, that's owned by the county. This is just on the county property.
Right.
This is, if you'll recall, this lease is for behind the campus,
Right.
and then we also have a parcel that we lease out by Pine
Right.
Valley.
Yep.
So we own it, so they can't do that.
It's only by the landowner, it's only like you get preservation.
Okay, well, I guess what I'm getting at is, normally if it's a landowner and they do that, then there's ways for them to get some compensation for doing that.
Right.
The way we're doing it, they won't be able to do that, right?
Well, they couldn't anyway.
If they were landowner, they could.
If they're a landowner, but if not being a landowner, they can't.
Right.
It's up to us as the landowner. We have the right to say what's going to be done on that.
Understood.
And what they have what's in this lease meets what would be the same thing.
So in theory, it might make the land less desirable for a farmer to want to lease.
Possibly, but that's if you didn't have anything I would worry about, especially behind the campus. You get somebody in there who wants just to, block, plant the whole thing up and down the hill, whatever they want for fertilizer, and now they don't lease it another year or two, and now we're stuck with a big mess.
Don't get me wrong, I agree. I was the one that asked to come to this committee. I'm concerned about that too. I'm just wondering, with these added requirements, who knows what'll happen? Maybe it'll go fallow.
Well, I guess I would say, Mr. Chair, that if, the people that have been leasing the land up behind the campus have been doing so for how many years, Derek?
Decades.
Yeah, decades. And so, again, a lease could be a negotiated item, and if they felt really strongly one way or another, we could always bring it back to the committee and say they have concerns, they've been good stewards of the land for X amount of years, they're wondering why, it, just for example.
Sure.
That could be a discussion point potentially. This, leases are those things. You can at times modify some of those. And as far as the one out at Pine Valley, that's behind this document, and you will see that there are no stipulations on that lease
Right.
at all. There's like nothing in there. So when that lease were to come up, that could be a discussion point at that time as well, potentially. So, realistically, it's up to this committee and the board as a whole if that is a negotiable item or a non-negotiable item. And if you felt like it would be a deal breaker, we could bring it back to you for reconsideration as well.
Sure.
Um,
It's not like it's a vital source of revenue for the county. So I would, again, just from the perspective of this committee, would want us to try to be good stewards of land, right?
Sure.
So I like the stuff you put in here. I was just trying to understand whether, and like you said, since we're the owner, the farmer can't do the farmland preservation assistance like most of them would. And so then administration of all these things, would that be you, Kathy, to make sure they do it?
No, I mean,
Who?
well, it says that the landowner is responsible. And so I would think that we would ask for, let me pull up the document. Now I'm on the Pine Valley one. It's at the landowner's cost, tenant shall obtain, and I would guess they would have to turn that into us.
And that's what I'm asking. In essence, we're adding another duty to someone on the county.
Well, yeah, they turn it in probably to administration since we deal with the lease, and then I'd have to call Kathy and say, okay, Kathy, what, does this make
All right.
sense?
Yeah.
Do we look good here? Are you gonna give us the blessing? And then we go from there.
So we've added another task. Sorry.
And if it's, if the people that are renting it are the same ones that have been renting them, I know them really well, and they do a lot on their own and stuff, so I'm not too worried.
And how many acres are we talking about? How big of a parcel is this?
I'm not sure, but Derek, I can't remember.
It's not huge.
It's not
That much too.
four to six.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Pretty insignificant.
and right now, all they're doing is they're growing it and they're baling it.
Yeah.
It's not like they're planting a crop
Oh,
per
just
se.
hay?
It's just hay. That's all it is. It's hay.
Well, good.
And this also was typically handled by, this lease usually went through the campus, not through the county. So we didn't have one at the county because we had the second one in your packet, the one that was drafted for Pine Valley was the one that we had been using for the other property in Pine Valley that's been rented out. But this lease was actually held by the campus, because it's on the campus. So that's why it's, the new lease itself is new to us, but those folks have been there for quite some time.
And the acreage at Pine Valley?
This one is up on December 31st, 2026. So then we would, give them the new lease, probably well in advance of that, 6 to 8 months in advance to make sure that they're okay with it. And if not, if there are any items that we would need to bring back to discuss, then we would have the time to do that.
Right. But do we know how many acres?
Oh, how many acres?
I think it's 15.
15 acres is what that one is,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So again, not giant.
So what action do we need to take? Are we gonna say we want this draft to be the actual lease?
If you approve that, then it will go, because it was referred back here by executive. So if you bless this, then it will go to executive for approval and then on to county board for final approval.
Got it. So a motion to approve this is the new lease.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. That's great.
Oh, Craig's on. Okay, hi Craig.
Didn't see you there.
Everybody?
All right. Let's move on.
All those in favor, aye.
And all in favor?
We did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I'm afraid, sorry.
Yeah, Craig joined us.
That's maybe I got distracted.
Okay. So Kathy, are you gonna explain number 12?
Okay, every even number year, there's a state land and water conservation board. They go through Department of Ag. They approve things from Department of Ag. They're concerned land conservation. They do, approve like land and water plans. They do DNR like, and the grants or the allocations. They do approve of that. And 3 of the members are committee members. And they're elected from people in the Wisconsin Land Plus Water community. So you guys, any of you guys could have run for this board. And so each committee gets a vote for a candidate for this committee. So like I said, every 3 years, or every other year. And it's only Wisconsin Land Plus Water members can vote for the representatives from their group.
So as a committee, we get 1 vote. And I don't recall if we did this when I was on here before, but there's four people running for 3 spots.
Right.
How do we do this here?
I don't know.
I mean, I looked at all 4, they all looked fine to me.
Yeah, the one from that represents the southern area, which we are a part of, is Yogesh, I can't say his name, Shachawa, and he is from Dane County. This Monty Osterman has been on there. He's been a representative for the Wisconsin Land Plus Water, several years. So the only one I know at all is the Monty, because the other 3 I do not know, so I don't know what to tell you. I kind of remember, and I've been to enough land and water meetings, state land and water meetings, that the county representatives, I'll call them county representatives, the committee representatives all have been very good, and they understand. They help us get through the process, and not that they let things just go, but they help us. Because there's people from different groups that are on this. There's citizen, there's manufacturing, there's realty, there's all different factors that are on the state land and water board. And having 3 members from your group, I'll call it, is kind of important because make sure we're following conservation issues. So I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, I just know the one.
Which one was it?
Monty.
You know Monty?
Yeah, he's been on the good, the other ones. I read through them and I think any one of them.
He seemed to have the most extensive resume. How do you guys want to do this?
So what are we doing?
You're selecting who with Richland County Land or Natural Resources Committee wants to be on the board.
So there's 4 little bios here. So one of them is not going to be our choice.
But we only get 1 vote, right?
Get 1 vote. So we have
to pick one of the 4.
wait, we pick 1 or we pick 3?
I think we picked 3.
Right.
And then, but you, as a committee, you only get 2.
Right.
If you want to put them, the top 3, then we'll have to, I haven't gotten I'll have to ask them for the ballot because I've not got the official ballot. So I'll ask them for it, then it would be like, Steve would be the one sending in the vote for the county, this committee. Because he's your chair.
Okay, I'm not sure how to do this.
Well, we'll make it work. Well, I mean, we'll make it work,
Do we have to decide today?
Yes. Cause it has to be in,
14.
yeah,
I'd like to see this, the guy that his first name starts with Y, however you say that. I'd like to see him because some of his experience would interest.
Yeah, it sounds like we like Monty too, right? It sounds so, yeah.
So that'd be a second one. So that's, somebody else pick.
It's pretty arbitrary.
it is pretty arbitrary. Like I said, any of the four reading their things, I think would represent.
All right, this, I'm not sure we call this democracy, but we're doing fine here.
Yeah.
As a committee, you really figure out who you wouldn't vote for.
That's what I would think. We pick 3 and there's 4, so you just pick the one that we're least be voting for. That'd be the easiest.
One you see is least qualified.
Then when I get the ballot, make sure Steve gets it and marks it off, sends it in electronically, I think.
Am I correct that the first one?
This,
She's existing.
this Terry White looks like a fine guy, but it seems like his perspective is very much northern Wisconsin.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, she's on the committee too, Rebecca, right now.
Sorry, is that a he or she?
Rebecca is currently on a representative, the first one's representative.
Yeah, I agree with the Terry White one. I'd say we gotta straighten somebody.
All right, so it looks like we're kind of circling around Rebecca, Yogesh, and Monty. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's my.
Okay, I don't think you have to have an official vote here, just that's what you want, and then kind of a consensus.
All right. All right, so, and again, I'm the one that's supposed to send.
Well, somebody from the committee has to send it, I can't send it in for the
I
committee.
can do it, I just didn't know who to send to.
I will get the information and make sure I get it and have it, nothing else sent to you so you can send it in.
I can do that. Any more thoughts on this? Are we good with that? Okay, all right.
We need a motion to accept those.
Does it need to be a formal action?
No, I don't think so.
Just needs to know who to mark on the
Okay.
ballot for our committee.
All right, let's keep going.
On the meeting dates, my only question is, like, for next year is December, is the county board in December gonna meet on the stay on the third Tuesday? Or before it was always on the second Tuesday?
It's the second Tuesday.
Okay.
Almost kept it the same.
Yeah, okay, so that would be the 24th we'd need to meet. And then I've got the wrong date there for the county board, but I can fix that. I think it's supposed to be the 9th for the county board.
County board is, yeah, third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday except for December.
So wait, which one needs to get fixed?
I just have to fix the line of the county board.
The last one.
Last one, I had down, for some reason, I had the 16th and
It's
9th. Yeah.
Okay.
But to, like June 30th, we have to meet June 30th because
4th of July.
4th of July, it's because the third Tuesday, the first Monday is not 2 weeks before the third Tuesday.
Right.
We have, this is to keep we have to have basically 2 weeks between this meeting and county board.
Do we need approval or is this information?
I don't know if we have to have approval, but this way Derek and
Okay,
the committee knows when the meetings
it's in our
are.
minutes.
It's in our minutes, yeah. Except for that typo, yeah.
Well, just to clarify, I'm not going to list this entire dates in the minutes. I'm going to say Conservation County Conservation reviewed it. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
But, so we all know what they are.
yeah,
FYI, right?
right.
All right.
And like I said, in the past, we've tried to, the committees first joined, it was just kind of this comes in, so each month they were setting the meeting date. It's like, no, Cheryl kind of started it and it was a good thing to start.
Okay. So that leaves us.
Number 14, you already kind of discussed in the first part, under the lighting assessment,
Right,
that's what we're
right.
talking about. So I wasn't sure, so that's why it's there. And that's just that was the brochure we developed.
Oh, I did want to add something on that. Just to be sure, the brochure we have, I think our intent was that anyone who comes in for a building permit gets a copy of that so that they are aware, just to raise
And I
awareness.
don't know if we've been doing it quite, we'll have to make sure we do that. We'll put it with the land use permit thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, that's something we kind of missed.
Okay.
So we'll make sure we do it.
So then we're on to something about this grant.
Yes. What I have in here is, so the Wisconsin 4-H program has done a partner with AmeriCorps program. And so Wisconsin 4-H has the opportunity for individual county 4-H programs to get AmeriCorps workers within their county for a year at a highly discounted rate. So that's for a half-time AmeriCorps worker that would be in our office for the year. It was going to cost counties $2,500 to have that added half-time employee, basically to help expand 4-H programs. As I was talking to Carlene about it, it wasn't really something that we had planned for in our budget. So what she did is she went out and talked and applied to the Richland County Campus Foundation for that $2,500 and a few dollars worth of programming fees. Was offered the grant, and now we just have to accept that $3,000 to utilize and add that AmeriCorps worker for Richland County for the next year, basically. So really, it's bringing a half-time person that's an AmeriCorps employee themselves. By accepting the grant, then we will cover the cost for that employee. So it's more work for extension that we can expand our 4-H programming with very little cost to the county.
So you need approval from this committee.
Yep, to accept the grant.
I'll make that motion.
Right, Julie, second discussion. I did have one question.
Yeah.
This AmeriCorps person with the duties that are listed, who do they report to?
So they'll be working directly with Carlene Craddock, who's the 4-H educator in our office.
Okay. So they report to Carlene.
Yep, and then I would also be the receiver.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on that?
That was a good deal.
Good. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We got you, Craig. Correspondence. Any correspondence? No. And future agenda items.
The only one I know of right now is one we didn't put on this was from the Farmland Preservation Certificate of Compliance. Wow, Corey, I figured with the other stuff we got in here, recording it for that.
I have, I was wondering if next month you could help explain to us how this Board of Adjustments and we interact, if at all. I'm not clear on that, and if you could, for all of us to understand how that works.
I would like that as well.
Is that something to get?
Yes, I got to remember to that. I'm gonna put it on my.
Anything else? Yes.
Is that what that means on this schedule that you showed us with upcoming meetings?
Mhm.
POA? Okay.
Yeah.
The other future agenda items?
Well, I was gonna mention, I did go to that farm tour up north, and it was absolutely amazing day. It was just, I learned so much in like 8 hours. It was unbelievable. Got to see the largest manure pit in the state. Oh, wow. That was exciting. It's just a really neat thing. And then I saw a hemp farm, and then my friend was the one in charge of when the water that was polluted, there was an issue there. And she was the one that came up with this, kind of like the easiest way to explain it is a dispensary. It's like a place where anybody that lived in that community can go fill water at any time. So we got to see her project completed. It was just a really fun day. So I was really thankful that we didn't have a board meeting that day. I thought it was Tuesday we did. So I just got in my car real early in the morning and drove up there. It was well worth it.
Where was that at?
Chippewa Falls. It's about 3 hours north, so I didn't know if I'd feel like getting up in the middle of the night, but I woke up to go to the bathroom, so I just got in my car. It was well worth it. I wish more people would have gone. There's representatives from all over the state there, like county board members and people from, other departments, so.
I've noticed when, I get the periodic, news updates from the state land and water, there's a mind-boggling amount of trainings out there available. I mean, you could never touch, there's just hundreds of them. So there's a lot of information. If you have time, check them out.
And they have a lot of them recorded.
Yeah, right.
So it was really fun. We got on a bus and it was like being on a field trip.
Right, Mr. Chair, did you want to report on legal and illegal non-conforming parcels?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
I mentioned that earlier, but do you want to?
Sorry, you're right, I did ask for that.
Got it.
Good catch. Thank you. All right, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, Mark. All those in favor, say aye. All right.
Yeah, I